Hi, my name is Heather, and welcome back to 180 Days of Lang, the series where I go through what I do in my AP English Language and Composition classroom day by day. So, you have made it to the final day of Unit 1 of the 9 units laid out by College Board for this course. I do follow those pretty closely with some minor modifications that I'll talk about when they come up, but I pace out about 3 weeks or 15 lessons for Unit 1. So, on this day, our students' first essay or extended writing response, whatever you want to call it, is due, their argument about the value and function of education. And during class, it's pretty straightforward. I just have students take the Unit 1 progress check on AP Classroom. So in order for your students to do the same, you've got to take care of some stuff on the back end ahead of time. So at the most basic level, you need a College Board account if you're brand new. You need to go through the course audit process, and this is some back and forth with you and your AP coordinator or AP administrator, I think is the role at your school. And mine, it's the guidance counselor, but it might be the principal or some other student services administrator in your building. So figure out who that is. If there's another AP teacher of any subject, ask, and then there'll be some back and forth. The beautiful thing about following the 9-unit sequence, and if you're using my materials, they do follow it, is that you don't have to submit the old school course syllabus audit process anymore. You still go through the course audit, but you don't have to make a big, long, elaborate syllabus and send it off for feedback like we used to back in the olden days before the big update in 2019. Instead, you just check the boxes saying you're following the 9 units. You are going to cover all of these essential things. If you're using my stuff, you will, I promise. And that's it. Like that, then you get the final approval from your teacher. You never have to upload any sort of syllabus document if you do that process, and your kids get all the things you're supposed to get from the class. So anyway, fast forward, assuming you've done all of that, then you can access AP Classroom. You can import a class from Google Classroom, maybe from your other LMS, or put them in manually with a class code. And then you can assign the Unit 1 progress check, which is some multiple choice questions. I don't do the writing parts of the progress checks because I introduce the time writings at other times. I just do the multiple choice ones. So I will assign that. I'll give them all class to work on it. My classes are 42 minutes and they usually have a little time left over, and I just let them chill because we're at the end of the unit. We don't need to rush into something new. Pro tip, I make the essays due the day of the progress checks, and guess what I'm doing while they're taking the progress check, right? Grading some of the essays. So after that's it for Unit 1. You're ready to move on to Unit 2, but I want you to get out of the habit. If you're like me, it's just, okay, what's the next thing? Move on. Let's keep going. Really slow down. Be like me this year. I'm trying to take the time to slow down and reflect. So that's why my lesson plans that many of you are using have these built-in daily reflections, but then at the end of the document, it has this unit reflection. So I want you to think about not only like the course standards for the unit, the skills, and how those things went for students, but also just those little things you were checking in on day by day if you use those drop downs: student collaboration and discussion, engagement in the activities, the homework, the small writing group success, adopting your beginning of the year classroom routines and norms. How are those things going? Because while you can't always control how quickly students can master those skills, you can control your inputs in the class, those classroom management pieces. So take some time, be kind to yourself, but be honest about your part and how things are going, and maybe make some adjustments. Do you need to change the seating chart because consistently these few kids aren't paying attention? Do you need to post stuff online more instead of paper because you have kids gone for football and your class is the final period of the day? What do you need to do? What can you do differently? Do you just need to reset expectations, be tougher on homework deadlines? What are the things that are in your control that you can change that might make Unit 2 go even better? And maybe the answer is just do what you're doing. But as for the actual skills, there's kind of two parts to this. One, I am always hesitant to panic if kids are not mastering the Unit 1 skills yet, if they're close to it, because it's just Unit 1, and rhetorical situation and claims and evidence, which are the main things in this unit, are going in paragraph development. We're going to be working on those throughout the year. They're going to have plenty of opportunities for those to spiral back around and practice. Bless you, dog. She's going to roll and practice with those skills. However, if we're seeing some maybe low results on the progress checks or on the assessment, if it takes you a while to grade those and you're just now noticing that in the rhetorical situation quiz, if the essays are really poor, you might need to pump the brakes a little bit and hit some of those a little bit harder before you move into Unit 2 rhetorical analysis, because that's the CAT in Space Cat, the choices, appeals, and tone, that's going to build on top of the rhetorical situation knowledge. Now, those things are always going to be discussed together. If you have, let's say, like a couple of students really struggling, maybe give them some targeted support. I'm going to link in the description some rhetorical situation practice activities that will have them focus specifically on exigence or context or whatever they're struggling with. Or maybe the whole class could benefit from a review project. So before you jump into Unit 2, maybe you can do the America's Next Top Political Party project, where they practice applying those things in a fun and creative way and reinforce those skills. Or maybe you just need to slow down and do some essay revisions and give everyone a chance to redo or revise the first one if you have a small class and can turn those around quickly. But I would say generally don't panic if they're close or a lot of kids are mastering and a few are just not quite there yet. But address if we have a lot of kids that are far below or individual students that seem to be super far below their peers on those skills. Another thing that you might want to introduce if you haven't yet, and if you have the mega bundle, this is included in the resources that you have. This is a great time to start rolling out the daily AP language bell ringers that I have. So every day of the week is a consistent skill, and then every week has a theme. Let's say, for example, it's like AI in education. Monday is going to be rhetorical situation analysis. Tuesday will be tone. Wednesday will be a writing workshop. Thursday will be another skill, and I forgot what it is, but it's a consistent one. And Friday is multiple choice practice. So that's the format of all of them, and there's 3 sets of them that are bundled together. So if you want to just get started, if you're looking at your data and yeah, they could really use some review and I don't know where I'm going to build it in, just make it your bell ringer going forward. And in 5 minutes a day, you can get students practicing with these skills on a spiraled basis, and that'll help set them up for success on the exam in several months too. All right, that's a lot for today. I'm going to take a break from these videos for a little bit just as I finish up Unit 1 in real time in my own class. I'm a little bit ahead of like recording these videos of where my students are. So I need to do all the things that I'm talking about and support them in great essays. And then I will jump in as soon as I can with getting the Unit 2 videos going, rhetorical situation. So again, check the description for resources that I've talked about in this video. If you're not yet subscribing, do that so that way you don't miss it when the Unit 2 videos start. And if you're finding these helpful, maybe consider sharing this channel with a friend who teaches AP language, or post it in a group or something. If you've got a little Facebook group going of English teachers that might find it beneficial, I think that will help. And again, I'm sure we're not there yet by this point. I'm just making the prediction. But if we get to 150 subscribers, I will do a classroom tour if that's of any interest to you. All right. Thank you so much for staying with me for all of Unit 1. I will see you in the next one.